Welcome back. Destination Tomorrow is a grassroots agency and the LGBTQ plus center of the Bronx borough. It is their belief that no individual should have to leave his, her, or their neighborhood to access LGBTQ plus specific services. Here to speak more and tell us about how they're celebrating Black voices in the LGBTQ plus civil rights movement is the Director of Programs at Destination Tomorrow, Star Woods. Star, thank you for being here with us.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah, now I've seen Destination out on the field all the time when I'm covering some of our events happening in our very own borough. But for our viewers, I know it's been a while since we've had a member of the team be back in studio with us. So tell us a little bit more about Destination Tomorrow.
Yeah, of course. So as you said, Destination Tomorrow is a grassroots organization, but actually we're growing so rapidly to the point where we're being known in other states. We're actually in Atlanta and we're in DC now. Our DC location is brand new. And yeah, we offer resources, programs, one-on-one services to our LGBTQ plus community members, having a high emphasis and focus on our Black TGNC, so trans and non-binary folks, making sure that we prioritize them. But of course, we service everybody and all our allies alike. So yeah, we have our one-on-one services, we have our programs, we have our wellness groups, and we love to throw a ball or a fair.
Yes,
Yeah.
well, we love both.
Yes.
With that as well, since its founding in 2009, you mentioned a little bit about how it's expanded to so many different states at that.
Yeah.
Talk to me about the need and importance of having something like this, especially now.
So I would say the need is ever more urgent than ever, right? We're running into the need of our trans, non-binary, and overall community members not having the resources that they need, or even the advocacy or the community, the support that they need in their very own neighborhoods, amongst their own, in their own educational institutions, in their professional spaces, or even when it comes to just having a family atmosphere. So we're really trying to make sure that we're up in the forefront, making sure that we're offering these services during these really intense times, to ensure that people know that no matter what, we're going to stand tall, we're going to stand there for them, and we're going to make sure that we're there to offer them resources, support, or even a lending ear or shoulder.
Yeah, when you talk about these resources and even programs as well, talk to me about some of them that obviously impact some of our communities right now that are being targeted, which is our trans and also our Black trans community and non-binary gender community as well.
Yeah, for sure. So I would say our brand new wellness group that we have, which is our Wellness on the Ave group, it is almost like a support group that we have for our trans and non-binary folks to be able to come, be amongst community, have a safe space to talk and actually sit amongst each other and voice their issues, concerns, and feel accepted in that space. We have our brand new, which is actually set to start March 10th. It is going to be our LGBTQ plus after school program. We're trying to make sure that we, of course, allies involved, but we're trying to really make sure that we have that safe space for our youth, because we're tending to find out that our youth don't have that safe space in their neighborhoods, which is in the South Bronx where we're located in primarily, and we want to make sure that we're able to reach them where they're at, whether they come from their schools or we pick them up directly from their schools, middle schools and high schools involved. And definitely when it comes to our professional development courses, we have the GPS workshop that we offer to our community members that are in correctional facilities, that are in educational institutions, and that just show up at our front office door. We're trying to make sure that we're offering employment opportunities to people that may identify as trans, non-binary, they, them, his, her, but they're not feeling comfortable in professional spaces to advocate for themselves, or they don't have the skills in order to actually be able to land these positions. So being able to offer all those opportunities on a social sphere, when it comes to recreational activities, when it comes to community, and even when it comes to professional development.
Yeah, now out of the list of programs that you even mentioned now and some of the ways that you are working with our community, the after school program was something that I did see on Instagram and that stood out to me as well. One, now you mentioned even creating that safe space, something that I feel like a lot of Bronxites who were a part of the community maybe didn't have growing up, right? Talk to me about the importance of having something like this, especially for our youth, not just a part of the community, but also our allies in a sense, and to start these conversations about safe spaces, gender, all that at this very young age as well.
Yeah, for sure. So first and foremost, just starting off with the fact of like normalizing how it is to just show up any way that you are, but making sure that there's respect being given at the front door with everybody that you engage with, and making sure that our youth know that, because it's often dismissed and not really too much focused on the fact that youth are actually the most vulnerable when it comes to these spaces, and them still finding themselves out, them still trying to figure out how they want to identify in this world, and letting them know that it is okay to be able to show up authentically as your full self, and you're also going to get the support, you're also going to get the navigational tools, interpersonal skills, homework help, assistance, even navigation when it comes to different extracurricular activities that may not be popular within the mainstream scenes, such as ballroom culture, such as things revolving around even being able to show up as your drag self or as your present self in everyday timing. But it's really important for us to have those services for our youth because often, more than not, we are noticing that those services or even those type of programming, such as the after-school programming that we're launching, is not offered in the schools that they go to or in community centers that they go to. So really trying to niche down and make sure that they know that there is a place for them, and really emphasizing the fact that safe spaces actually build up character and build up their confidence to go out there and advocate for their next of kin or advocate for a friend or family member that may be going through the same thing. So
yeah, and when you talk about that representation and even just having a way for them to feel more confident in who they are, I mean, we're in a time right now where even the Trump administration, it has made it very clear where they stand on LGBTQ plus issues, rights, even at that. With the work that you do, how have you seen kind of what is unfolding day to day impact our Black LGBTQ plus community and our community of color within the queer community?
For sure. So it's been a radical change. We were going very, very far left, and now we're going very, very far right. And the stigma, we thought we were reducing it, but actually we're increasing it right now. And unfortunately, a lot of our community members, clients, partners alike are actually, they have been scared. They've been scared to show up authentically as their full selves, leave their house, actually get to whatever services or whatever occupation, school. Leaving their house in general is really difficult. So what we've been trying to do to combat that is actually let them know that we are going to meet them exactly where they are at. So whether that means that we take online appointments, whether that means that we actually drop off any resources to their front door, telemedicine visits, calling them and having peer-on-peer counseling with them, trying to really make sure that they know that we are advocating for them still, nonetheless. And we don't care if companies are deciding not to, companies, organizations, current administrations that are in office, we don't care if they don't want to rainbow wash anymore, because we're going to hold our rainbows flags up high, and we're going to let them know that we're still here to advocate for them nonetheless, no matter the administration.
Yeah.
So.
Now, of course, with that work that you're saying, even working with the community, how does Destination Tomorrow and even yourself stay focused on that goal of providing this advocacy and and being a resources continuously for the community, even in our political climate where it can get a little bit overwhelming?
Yeah, for sure. So how we combat burnout is through honestly checking on each other as a team and making sure that we support each other emotionally, socially, spiritually at that, and really, really, really trying to emphasize the fact that we are the shoulders that they actually stand upon, so that way we can actually uplift them. So we try to honestly ensure that we know that, of course, there's so much work that we have done within the last 14 years that Destination Tomorrow has been open, but there's so much more work that needs to be done, and our team does a really, really great job at being passionate and staying tunnel vision and making sure that they know that the work is always going to need to be achieved, and we're not going to stop at advocating or being able to offer resources to our clients. So yeah, staying tunnel vision for the most part.
With that work being something that is obviously still a focus, still continuing to do, how important are partnerships, organizations, other collaborations in a sense, to continue running and helping Destination Tomorrow with its mission, especially during this time?
That's a great question. So honestly, it takes a village, and it's funny because we had our very first health conference last week, and I was actually thanking all of our community partners for honestly still sticking by us, the large ones, the small ones, the grassroots ones, and really making sure that they are able to honestly still provide services to our clients, even with the public fundings or federal fundings being cut, even with programs being cut, them saying, you know what, we're going to figure it out and we're going to still continue to show up for you and yours, because at the end of the day, these are still human beings that need services, and it is a human right in order to be able to have access to healthcare, to have access to gender affirming services, to have access to education, employment, and so on and so forth. So our community partners have honestly been standing 10 toes down for us, and we're very, very appreciative of it.
Wow. Now, of course, as our viewers are watching, if we have viewers who want to take advantage of resources, programs that are available to them, but also on the partner side, if people want to collaborate even with Destination Tomorrow, what would you let them know? How can they go about doing that?
So they can definitely just go to our website and reach out our info at destinationtomorrow.org. They can go to our Instagram, our Facebook, our any of our social media sites that we have, and they can DM us and they can ask to be involved, whether they want to volunteer, whether they want to intern, or whether they honestly just want to donate and be a part of our cause and our mission. They're more than welcome to do so. The way that we even screen through and get through all of the inquiries that we have is actually really fast and quick, and individuals are able to get connected with us in our services or be able to be a part of our mission.
Yeah, now of course we have some staple holidays coming up that we should be celebrating. Later this month, March 31st, marks International Transgender Day of Visibility. Why is it important to continue to celebrate this every year, and especially this year, you'd say?
I would say this year it is a radical sense of love to be able to celebrate that, right? Be able to actually show up for our trans, black and brown brothers and sisters and let them know that no matter what, even though they're not being seen in the political scene or they're not being seen as far as when it comes to policy and new changes, they are still being seen in their communities, they're still being honored in their communities, and they're still being supported in their communities. So we're actually going to go really, really hard for our Trans Day of Remembrance, and we're going to make sure that we are loud and proud and we are able to really level up rather the advocacy work that we are continuing to do, and we're gonna see and so forth still keep doing.
Yeah. Now we also have so many icons in the community as well, like a Marsha P. Johnson, Audre Lorde, who contributed so much to the LGBTQ plus movement. And in some way, obviously with the Trump administration, that history is trying to be erased or put aside a little bit. Talk to me about the importance of recognizing and honoring those icons who have paved the way for the community.
Yeah, for sure. So a lot of our community partners that are, like, for instance, our Marsha P. Johnson housing units that we have for the youth, those are the people that we try to make sure that we stay heavily in affiliation with. But honestly, those people laid down the foundation for us to be able to keep building upon, or laid down the pavement in order for us to keep running across. So we like to make sure that we honor them by making sure that there's representation throughout all of our main office locations, making sure that we have events in honor of their name, and then also making sure that whenever we are advocating in political spaces or even in informal spaces, we keep their names in our what's the word I would like to say, in our any type of new additions that we add to our program developments or our events and stuff like that, because we want to make sure that we are not reinventing the wheel because they reinvented the wheel for us. We're just adding to it so that way we're continuing the work that needs to continue to be done.
Definitely, and evolving that work, especially through the work that you're doing, Destination Tomorrow is doing. I mentioned to you, we have seen it out in the field through events as well, but it's so great to have you back in studio now with us to share more of the work. So thank you so much, Star.
Yes, thank you so much for having us.
Thank you. Now with that, to learn more about the programs they offer, please visit their website at destinationtomorrow.org. We've come to the end of our show today. I'd like to thank all of our guests for joining us and you, the viewers, for tuning in. If you've missed any part of today's show, you can catch the recablecast at 5 and 8 p.m. tonight on Optimum Channel 67 and Verizon Fios 33, or watch anytime on the web at BronxNet.org. You can catch a brand new episode of Open with Darren Hemick on Wednesday and with Rina Valentin on Friday. I'm Jonathan Calixto. Stay informed, stay inspired, and stay safe. Until next time.